What's up, guys? Thank you for joining my first live interview with MMA World. I'm Kayla Beatty, also known as Fangirl MMA, and today I'm going to be interviewing a Q&A. Hopefully you guys will chime in with Bellator's heavyweight contender, Javy Ayala. He should be here soon. But basically, he fought his recent fight. Hey, Javy, I'll add you in just a second. He recently fought Roy Nelson at Bellator 183. Word is that he might be an alternative for the heavyweight tournament next year. So let's bring Javy on so we can chat with him a little bit. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining. All right. I'm adding Javy right now. Maybe he can give us a little bit of inside scoop on the tournament if he thinks he might be joining. Let's see. Hey, Javy.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. Thanks for joining us. Happy Friday.
I know. Happy Friday.
What are your typical Fridays like? Do you get some training in right before the weekend and then enjoy yourself?
Usually I train all week long. I only take Sundays off.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so
Nice.
try to stay busy all the time.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I was just introducing everybody to you. If you know about you yet. You are a heavyweight fighter for Bellator. I definitely want to get into your most recent fight with Roy Nelson in the tournament. But before that, for people still getting to know you, can you give us a little bit of a bio or background of your wrestling background and how you got started in MMA?
Okay, well, my name's Javier Ayala. I've wrestled since I was in 7th grade. I wrestled all throughout high school. And then after high school, I started working, and I have a few friends that had been fighting for a while. My cousin Joe Soto had been fighting. He'd been doing good already. And then I had a buddy tell me, hey, why don't you come try it out with me? So I showed up to his gym, and I started working out. I started liking it, and I slowly started falling in love with it until eventually it became my passion.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and you're on a good run. I didn't know that Joe was your cousin.
Yeah, Joe Soto's he's my big cousin. Obviously not bigger, but my big cousin.
Older, yes. And yeah, I didn't mention this. Javy is a Cali fighter, local fighter for me, California representing.
Yep.
Yeah, so, I want to talk about the tournament, of course. That's something that's exciting coming up. I did read that you might be an alternative for Bellator's heavyweight tournament, so maybe we can touch into that. But first, I just want to go over your most recent fight with Roy. A very exciting fight added to the Bellator 183 card. Do you watch tape? And if so, what did you think about the fight and your performance?
I watched a lot of times actually. I like going back and seeing what I did wrong. I'm kind of my hardest critic, so I go back and I tell myself, okay, you should have done this, you should have done this. This is what we need to work on. But I go back and when I watch the fight, it's like, man, it was a great fight. I had him standing up. It's just I couldn't stop his takedowns, but I couldn't. It was hard to get him off of me. He's a big, strong guy, real good at control.
Yeah, definitely. No, it was an exciting fight. I remember that being one of the ones that I was super pumped about and getting up on my seat for. It was really great. So,
I know
oh, sorry, what were you gonna say?
yeah, there was a lot of people. I was reading all the comments online. A lot of people saying, "Oh, Javi's gonna get knocked out, just like everybody else." And I was like, you know what? That's not gonna happen. I'm gonna prove all these guys.
Yeah, all 2 rounds. And yeah, I mean, I was there during press in San Jose leading up to the fight, and that was one of the big things that everyone was asking is, were you going to be intimidated with the name of Roy Nelson? I think you had mentioned you had watched him, as you were growing up and starting your fight career. Do you feel like you felt any of the nerves of fighting a name like Roy Nelson?
You know what? At first, when you think about it, you'd be like, man, this guy's been around for a long time. He's a veteran. He's pretty much a legend in the sport. But for me, it's when you lock that door, it's just me and you in there. You bleed just like I bleed, so we're gonna fight.
Yeah, definitely. And so when you heard the announcement for the tournament, the Bellator is going to start next year, what were your first thoughts?
I was kicking myself in the butt because I was like, man, if you would have beat Roy, you would have been in it automatically.
Mm.
I know I feel like I have a good shot at maybe being an alternate. I know there's a lot of other guys' names up in there. There's a lot of good heavyweights in Bellator. I just feel we just gotta have us fight each other to see who's the alternate.
Yeah, because I know that was there's a little controversy there where people are talking about how there's not maybe natural heavyweights or fighters that have fought in heavyweight divisions before that are now part of the tournament. Did that bother you at all, or do you look at it more as, these are names that are going to be bringing attention to this new division that hasn't been as active with the title?
Yeah, I figured that when I seen everybody that was on the tournament, I was like, all these guys have real big names already. They're gonna draw a lot more crowds in, even though they ain't naturally heavyweights. Like my first reaction was like, "What the heck? These guys are 205ers." Like, but after a while, after calming myself down, I was like, you know what? I know exactly what they're doing. They're bringing more fans in. These guys have a lot of base, and they're gonna want to see these guys fight.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what's nice is, you fought Roy. So if there were any sort of nerves or butterflies of fighting some of these legends and guys you've watched for a long time, at least you've already went in there with one of the guys with Roy.
Yeah.
Out of just the guys that, oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
I said, yeah, I've been in there with Roy, even with Sergey. He's a big name, tough competitor too.
Yeah, how was that? Because, I had listened to a few of your interviews. And going into that fight, again, like you said, maybe, you were considered the underdog, or people were, thinking that you would just go in there and get dominated by someone. And it was quite the opposite. You went in there and finished him, within 16 seconds, I believe.
Yeah,
and did you notice, was that a turning point in your career? Was that maybe a spot that really jumped you and built your name within Bellator?
Yeah, I think that actually helped me out a lot. I felt that have made people notice me. Like if I kick the door down and I'm like, I'm here, and everybody was able to notice me after.
Yeah, definitely. So with the names in the Bellator tournament, is there anyone that, say you get that call from Scott, from the boss, that they need you to jump in there and be an alternative? Is there one person that jumps out that you just love to be in there with?
I would like to fight Matt Mitrione. You know what I mean? He's on a good win streak right now. He's a big name, and I would like to get in there and show him what I can do.
Okay. I feel like that fight's going to eventually happen.
Excuse me?
I feel like that fight is eventually going to come together, for sure.
I hope so.
And then so, with the tournament, I don't know how much you want to tap into that, or how much you can talk about it, but I read that Scott had mentioned your name when he was talking about alternatives. Going into 2018, is that going to affect, fights that you might take on, or activity in the octagon? Are you going to kind of sit on the sidelines and wait for that call, or are you planning on being active and fighting?
Right now I'm actually fighting through an injury, but I should be back in a short amount of time. But I want to stay pretty active. I want to keep fighting. I want to keep showing the fans and the people like I deserve to be there.
Yeah, definitely. And so with the first fight, we have our first fight in the tournament, we have Chael and Rampage. Can you give us a prediction on who you think might take that one?
I think Chael's going to win it. I think I seen a picture of Rampage, and Rampage looks huge. He looks like he's going to punch himself out, and he's going to tire himself out, and then Chael's just going to get on top of him and ride him out.
Okay. Yeah, I like that prediction. Would you mind going through the different matchups and giving us your predictions on those?
Yeah, I don't mind.
All right, let me pull these up really quick. This is my first live interview too, so let me make sure that I'm not missing out on comments here from anybody. Okay, Bellator heavyweight tournament. And then what about the holidays? I know you're a father too, so this is probably a busy time for you, right?
Yeah, it is.
With family?
A lot of Christmas shopping, a lot of meals being made, a lot of meals being eaten. It's kind of hard to stay small at this time.
right? How do you guys celebrate the holidays?
We usually celebrate it works out perfect because my family celebrates Christmas Eve, and my wife's family
Okay.
Christmas Day. So it's kind of we go to my family's one day, and then we go to my wife's family's the next day.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Okay, so you said that you think that Chael is going to beat Rampage due to maybe endurance and size. What about Fedor and Frank?
That's
What are you
gonna be a good
predicting for
fight.
that fight?
That's actually two of my all-time favorite fighters right there. I've been a fan of Frank Mir since I was little. He's actually always one of my favorite fighters. Uh, so I'm excited for that fight, but I feel like Fedor is going to become more aggressive since his loss against Matt Mitrione, and
Mm.
I got Fedor for that one.
Yeah, he looked great. That wasn't on the same card as you guys, right? I think that was the card before, or
I saw it in New York when
before.
he fought
Okay, yeah. So he did what?
Fedor fought Matt Mitrione in New York.
Oh, that's right. It was in the New York card. Yeah, he looked great, but I'm really excited too, just to see Frank come back. It was exciting when he announced that he had plans to come back and then to come back to Bellator.
Yeah,
So that'll be fun.
he had a lot of transition
Okay.
years.
Yeah, I think it's been some time, but I know I worked an event in Vegas, and he actually has some money invested. He's one of the partners for Real MMA Amateur Fight Night, and I think he's been staying active as far as training and then doing commentating and obviously staying within the MMA community and sports. So I think he'll look good when he comes back. Okay, and then so we have Matt Matrone versus Roy Nelson, someone who you're familiar with in the octagon and someone that you want to fight eventually. What do you think about that one?
That's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a tough one. I know Roy beat Matt the first time,
Mm-hmm.
but I kind of have to give it to Matt this next one. I think Matt's gonna win this one.
Okay. Are you predicting him to win the whole tournament?
I actually think Bader's gonna win it.
Oh, okay. Wait, you said Bader or Fedor?
Bader.
Okay, Ryan Bader. All right. So then I'm assuming you're gonna say that he's gonna defeat King Mo.
Yeah, he's gonna be King Mo. He's a big, strong guy. I know King Mo's fought big guys too, but Bader's he's a good wrestler. He's a good
Yeah.
wrestler. Strong. He's big. I feel like he's gonna beat King Mo,
Okay.
and I feel like he would be the one to win the whole tournament.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I think, it's fun that they're bringing back some of the old school ways of these tournament styles. I don't know if they plan to do many of these, but I'm sure that I think you even mentioned too in San Jose when I think Roy had kind of hinted or at least was hoping that something like this would come together for the vacant title. You were all about it too.
Yeah, I'm game. I'm game to fight twice a night if you want me to.
Yeah. And so, with this tournament going on, you're saying you want to stay active next year. Do you have any names that have been thrown at you or any fights that are kind of in the works that you can talk to us about or?
Nothing yet. We're just waiting to hear from Bellator, and hopefully towards the middle of the year I'll fight again.
Okay. And I want to talk to you a little bit about your nickname because I noticed that I was looking at different photos on Facebook, different photos on Instagram, and you have some nice male modeling poses. Does that relate to your nickname of Eye Candy Ayala?
A little bit. I'm known to joke around at the gym a lot to tell people, I'm the best looking guy here. As before I got my nose broken, I was really good looking, but now I'm just regular good looking. But that's how I got my nickname, just by the way I joke around, and people would tell me like, "Hey, you always say you're the best looking guy in the gym. Just own it now."
Yeah, well, it looks like you're usually in good spirits and always having fun with stuff or with the fights and stuff leading up. Has there been any opponents that have pulled out a more like angry, aggressive side out of you, or are you usually pretty calm leading up to the fights and happy?
I'm usually calm and happy leading up to the fights. I kind of try not to think about it that much. I like to joke around, and it kind of helps ease my mind off the fight. But whenever they lock the door, it's a whole different side of me that comes out.
Yeah, definitely. And then I noticed too, this was something that kind of just broke within the MMA world, but there was a certain person that was being bullied, a little boy that was being bullied, and it turned into this whole fiasco. I know you had retweeted or tweeted some stuff about it. Being a father that has young kids in school, just what do you think about the whole Keaton Jones thing and how it's built up to be this dramatic thing and scam now people are.
I think it's horrible about the kids being bullied. Growing up, I was always a heavier set person. I was always a chubbier kid, so I got bullied a lot growing up. Um, so I kind of know how it feels. But I try teaching my kids, hey, you know what? Don't let it get to you. And if someone uh, puts their hands on you, you defend yourself.
Right.
So my kids aren't really fighters, but I tell them to defend themselves. I feel like that's the best way to get bullies to stop. Like growing up, I noticed if you just let them pick on you, they're gonna keep picking on you. But the whole thing being a somewhat of a scam is, I think it's horrible. The mom would do that to her son out there.
Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate because I think it was really cool to see how much of the MMA community was coming in and willing to help this kid out. That, I mean, I'm sure there might be some truth to the bullying thing, but I thought it was really cool in the beginning just to see all of these athletes take their time and reach out. Especially, I know I work at a sports bar and I'm still trying to not argue or debate with people, but just I guess defend the sport and defend the stereotypes that some people have of it. So I thought that was really cool to shine a little light on that side of mixed martial arts and that they are caring, compassionate people
Yeah,
that don't like bullying.
yeah, we're like any other person. We have families, we have our feelings. Uh, we've had our lives before. I know there's probably other guys that got bullied too growing up. It's just uh, I feel like it just thickens your skin a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad, he's funny. He taught me the same thing. If someone's bullying you, sometimes you need to just show him a little bit of your toughness to get him to stop. And he had a funny story where he had been jumped by a few kids in elementary school, and instead of trying to fight them all back after getting beat up, he used the whole week to just kind of follow each kid home and go and beat their ass like one on one. And after that, no one messed with him in that group because together they might have been able to, kick his ass. But singly, he grew up with a bunch of older brothers too, so he knew how to fight. But sometimes you have to teach them that way, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
And so what's cool about Bellator, and I hear a lot of fighters speak up, fans, media talk about it. You guys do have the opportunity sometimes to fight outside of the promotion and compete in different sorts of tournaments, whether it's jiu-jitsu or I think kickboxing. Do you have any interest of fighting outside of Bellator in a different sort of martial art or tournament?
I've thought about doing jiu-jitsu tournaments. Like I told you, I work a lot with my cousin Joe Soto, and I feel like it's brought my jiu-jitsu game to a whole different level. And I kind of want to test just my jiu-jitsu. And so I've thought about doing tournaments before, but I don't want to schedule. I don't want to go into a tournament and then get a fight scheduled.
Yeah, I know. That's what's, especially for you, I feel like that's going to be difficult next year because you want to be available in case there's that spot in the tournament or other good fights being built. But that's exciting to know that, you have those options later. And then you have someone like Chael who puts on the Submission Underground grappling tournaments. Maybe you can talk with him.
Oh yeah.
That'd be cool. And then, I want to talk to you about the fact that you guys get to have your sponsors. Are there sponsors that you want to talk about or shout outs to?
I love the fact that Bellator lets us have our sponsors. I have a lot of people that having my back since I was fighting right here at the local casino. I have about Millions. They've been sponsoring me. His name's Alonzo. He's been taking care of me real well. I have my uncle Mike that has Homes for Rent, to where he's actually sponsored me since my first MMA fight. And I also have this lady named Laura. She gives me massages to help fix my body up whenever I get injured during training, and that's probably the biggest help.
You have your own personal dude.
Yeah, pretty much. And all my training partners, they tough it out. They go in, they get punched by me, and they come back the next day and they let me do it again.
Nice. Yeah, and then you just made me think of something that I wanted to talk to you about. You brought up the sponsors. Oh, I lost my thought. I can't think of what I was going to ask you. I just had thought about something, but maybe it'll come to me. Well, yeah, I mean, again, you have an exciting year coming up in 2018. I know that everyone wants to tune into that tournament, and they should definitely be tuning into you because, you're definitely one of Bellator's exciting heavyweights coming up. I mean, already building your name with, like you said, wins over Sergey and exciting fights over Roy. So where can MMA fans keep up with you and follow your journey and your story?
They gotta go onto my Instagram or my Facebook. My Instagram is at icandyayala.com or at icandy on Instagram, and my Facebook is Javier Ayala. I also have a Twitter that's at icandyayala. icandyayala, but I'm still kind of trying to get familiar with Twitter. I'm not really too knowledgeable about it, but I got my little girl cousins that are teaching me.
Okay, yeah. It took me a while to get Twitter down too. I don't know. It seems so simple, but then maybe that's why we're like psyching ourselves out on how it works.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Javi, it was so nice to talk to you. I'm really excited for 2018. Enjoy the holidays with your family and, recover soon with your injury. Thank you for speaking with us. Maybe we can have you back early next year once you get a fight announced.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right. We'll see you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, guys, thank you for following MMA World, for catching up with me and Javi. I believe I put in the description, if I did this correctly, links to his Instagram and Twitter, links to mine at Fangirl MMA. Please like, share, and follow MMA World for all of the awesome coverage on MMA, our favorite sport. Thanks, guys. Have a good Friday and a good weekend.